Hey everyone, welcome to the Bob's Burgers After Show here at AFTERBUZZ TV, Season 7, Episode 8, though I think it might actually be Episode 9. Our thing says Episode 8, so we're going to go with that. Bob actually is the name of the episode, and it actually may be, collectively, our new favorite episode. We're going to talk about it right after the break.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, I love hearing that music.
And yet, we didn't in this episode.
I know.
They didn't have the intro.
Yeah, they just skipped right to the story.
Right over it. We didn't get to see what the next door business
Noticing
was.
that right now.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, wait a second. I haven't heard this music in a long time. Mostly because Bob's Burgers hasn't been on for a long time.
No, for real.
And even longer
Also
since,
that.
again, they, at least in the airing that we watched, they skipped right over the opening credits.
You mean your Netflix isn't constantly on a loop of Bob's Burgers?
I mean, at home, yes, my
Okay,
Netflix is
okay.
constantly on a loop
Good,
of
good,
Bob's
good.
Burgers. Actually, no, Bob's Burgers is really, you know how like everybody has their go-to shows for like when you're doing something else. So for me, it's
you
usually
want a
like
show in the background.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm like sewing, usually I'll want to put something on in the background, and it's like almost always it's just Bob's Burgers. Yeah.
It's
a
the
good
show that I
choice.
fall asleep to. If it's
Nice. Yep, yep,
definitely,
yep.
definitely.
Agreed.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bob's Burgers After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. If you are watching us, hello, thank you. We're glad you're here. If you're watching us on YouTube in the future, also thank you so much for
Welcome.
enjoying our faces talking
Past
about Bob's
thank
Burgers.
you to you.
But remember, guys, we do also post all of our episodes to iTunes. So if you are an iTunes user, go on over there. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave us a review.
Yeah.
Take us on the go.
Take
good
us
time.
wherever you may roam.
Oh, stop it.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and if you are listening, remember you can also watch us on YouTube, and it's a great time. Alexis has got the live chat up,
Yes, I
so if
do.
anybody is in there, we're happy to talk Bob's Burgers with you while we
We're-
talk.
Physically capable of live chatting.
We are physically capable of live chatting with you, as we physically live chat with one another into these microphones about
stop
Bob's
it.
Burgers.
Let's
I know.
get physical.
Let's
Okay.
get into this episode because
Yes.
Okay, so Bob's Burgers is the reason it's so successful as a comedy is because it does, for all the ridiculous circumstances, hit all these very like grounded, real life kind of emotions specifically. And this episode just
Oh, man.
I mean, in terms of a Valentine's Day episode,
Yes.
if I had to defend a Valentine's Day episode in TV fights, like I would choose this show.
Yeah.
No, like for real, because it literally hit all of my elementary, middle school,
Yeah.
high school, and adult Valentines, like all in a 25-minute episode. Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because, it was called Bob Actually. So it was basically like you had all the different little storylines of love, like you do in the movie Love Actually.
Actually.
And they're not all exactly necessarily the same. Louise's plot line was figuring out that regular-sized Rudy wasn't actually in love with her. He was in love with someone else. So she was sort of an accessory to his Valentine's Day. Jimmy Jr. finally, straight up wanted Tina to be his Valentine.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, that was great.
And I mean, progressively every year, Jimmy Jr. has gotten to be
More overtly.
overtly into Tina. And obviously,
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago, they had the kiss on the beach when he had the whole robot Tina romance.
Right. Where he
So-
preferred the robot for some reason
I know,
for a time.
I know, but it all ended, even though it was a very bizarre episode, it ended in a really cute
It did.
Right.
place.
It did.
So you got to have a little bonfire.
They did,
Yeah,
they
it
did.
was cute.
And so, so it was really nice to see, because I mean, the thing is that's lovely about Bob's Burgers is that it's a really very episodic sitcom from the point of view that, you can jump in anywhere and enjoy individual episodes. But I really liked that in this, we saw a lot of kind of past storylines carry through just in terms of character growth.
No,
From the
yeah.
point of view that, as I say, there was, I mean, obviously when Jimmy Jr. first approached Tina, there was the question in her heart of oh boy, what's going to happen? But he was like, hey, what are you doing during lunch? I want to meet you at lunch.
Yeah.
And then she walks in and he's jumping on a trampoline and there's a whole bunch of people around. It's like,
like,
okay,
oh,
maybe this is
no.
weird. And he's like, no, we're going to do this super romantic thing where we kiss in the air.
It's so cute. And I mean, I was on the same boat where I was kind of like, okay, wait, we've had we've had too many years of Bob's Burgers where he's like, Tina, I need you for something, and she's
Right.
like, it's gonna be something romantic, and then he's like, I actually
Yeah.
just need you to help me with this dance
Can
number.
you just hold this stick? Or,
Yeah, or something, or
yeah.
be a tree in my background of my play of
Yeah.
a one-man show, and you're
Right.
like, but no, this is the first time where I was squeeing.
I
because
know.
He was like, yeah, I want to kiss you, and it's gonna be great. And I was like, Jimmy.
It was very sweet.
I loved every minute.
And it was so different for a Valentine's Day episode of Bob's Burgers to see Tina having a different conflict than, is Jimmy Jr. going to give me a Valentine?
Yeah, like he has his Valentine.
Yeah.
She just needs to accept it because she's got some booty problems.
I know.
Or stomach problems, I guess I should say.
I just really appreciate the booty stomach problems. Also, just story-wise, always let her be in the bathroom when Louise needed
Louise
advice.
was in the bathroom.
basically,
Oh my
or
God,
needed
that
to
was
vent.
so amazing.
But I love it because it's kind of like a very girl thing, especially in high school or in school in
Yeah.
general, where we all went in the bathroom. We're like, I'm having a problem. Okay, well, tell me I have to pee.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome.
Well, and I enjoyed all of those moments between Tina and Louise because, again, it's like they don't always, they absolutely love each other. But Tina's such a romantic, and Louise is secretly a romantic, but she projects being this very aggro. I don't care about love. Valentine's Day is a Hallmark construct.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an invented holiday, I think is what she said, which was like, aren't all holidays invented holidays? Let's be
at some point
semantics.
they were. But she's right that it is a very commercial holiday.
A Hallmark holiday.
And I also liked that, even though there ended up being a really cute storyline between her and regular size Rudy, I did really like her speech to him where she was like, listen, man, when she, initially she thinks that Rudy is in love with her and he's buying Zeke's dried out weeds.
I can't believe that Zeke
man.
was sitting there going, all right, I've got these weeds and it's going to be amazing. Give it for your Valentine. I'm like, what are these dandelions? Like, I don't understand.
That's what they looked like.
That's
They
what they
looked
look
like
like.
there was kind of a little white flower, but mostly they were just like weeds.
Yeah.
Oh, so
that
funny.
he had dried out and just had a stash of them in his locker
Sure.
that he was
But
selling for $1.
It makes sense if you're in a private school that probably doesn't have a Valentine. I don't know if you guys grew up with the fact of being in a school and they're like, hey, buy a Valentine gram and give it to your Valentine. Okay.
Yeah, we had the candy grams.
Yeah, see, I had friends that didn't
Okay.
have candy grams in school, and then I know that Emma and I did, so I was like, I always found that interesting.
Because they've done a plot in Bob's Burgers already where Tina was in charge of the carnations.
Oh, that
that's
was
right.
so cool. I forgot about
That's another great one. Bob's Burgers holiday specials are always so good, but this one just
hit it on the nose.
It just really hit those emotional beats. And so, circling back again to Louise's storyline with regular size Rudy, I loved the conversation she has with him about listen, I understand how you're feeling, but because it's Valentine's Day and society tells us that we want to be in love, but really you don't need to be in love to be complete. It's totally fine to be alone. And that was something that I just really, really appreciated because she's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that society has very much, I'm getting into a very deep conversation on an episode
but
about
I'm
this.
really glad that you're bringing it up,
But I think that, society has sort of created this construct of this idea that you can't, you're not complete and you can't really be happy unless you're partnered with somebody.
That's so dumb.
And I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And I feel weird because I don't feel that way because it's so contrary to what society wants you to believe.
Especially around this time because you have the holidays and then you have New Year's and then you have Valentine's Day all within 3 months apart. So it's hard. But I know like the one thing I love about it is that Valentine's should be with the people you love. It doesn't have to be with a partner.
No, exactly. That
you know?
I think that's more what it is. It's that I don't believe that I believe that everybody needs love in their lives, but I believe that you can be fulfilled by your friendships and your relationship with your actual family and your found family, and it's not about romance. And that was kind of in a weird way, that was sort of Louise's message of listen, man, you don't need romantic love. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're real young. We'll figure it out eventually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But ultimately, she also is saying that if anyone deserves just to have some,
I know.
something,
It should be
it's regular size Ruby.
Regular size Rudy. I just love that I love how that was such a school thing too. It was just wait, are we talking about big Rudy or regular size Rudy? Regular size Rudy.
Yeah.
Which Rudy?
I'm talking about?
I love that. It was adorable.
Yeah. Well, and I felt that storyline, for all that it sort of came out of left field, that's why I liked that he wasn't into her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because the storyline did totally come out of left field, but at the same time, because she built it up in her head so much, it became kind of precious, so that by the end, you kind of wanted that to play out.
I loved it. I think that was really nice to see Louise bringing out her nice side to a point, but still be like you don't tell anybody what just happened, you know?
I think I'm sweating. Yeah. So good.
Even though he was actually in love with Chloe Barbash, who he...
What was it? That her
Not
hair
anymore,
smelled like,
though.
I know, like the fact that her hair smelled like baked goods was what it was, or something.
It was like a cake.
Like a cake.
Okay,
like a whole cake.
Yeah.
She uses the whole bottle of shampoo whenever she showers.
Okay, as a person who has a lot of hair, that can get there, but never in a day. Like
That
you
is-
don't do that in one day.
That is straight wasteful,
It
Chloe
is.
Barbash.
I'm like, your parents must be like, why are you going through bottles of shampoo and conditioner?
Well, I don't know. Chloe
Maybe they just
Barbash,
shop at Costco and they have like a
there
big
you go.
pallet of them just laying around.
you
And
go.
she's like, look at me, I can do this.
Oh my god, that would be insane.
Or she's like stealing shampoo from hotels, like just
Ooh,
tiny
yeah.
bottles of shampoo.
And that's what she's using. That would be insane.
Maybe
but like,
the whole bottle is just one of those bottles.
yeah, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
But-
much more reasonable.
That is much more reasonable.
And I will take that. But also, I do have to say, even though she was kind of mean, her hair did look great. Though.
It did.
I know, and I love that when Louise like confronted
Yeah.
her about how she was gonna go meet Rudy on the playground and kiss him after school.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, and walked away. Louise was like, damn it, she does smell great.
Yeah.
Especially because every time she like flicks her hair back, she's like, "Oh my god, it smells like a whole bottle,
Yeah.
a whole bottle of shampoo."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Chloe Barbash.
This woman.
Oh
right
my
here.
god. And it was and like that one of the best moments for me in this episode was when Rudy showed Louise the notes that she was passing him, and it was
Oh my-
so clear that she was just passing him notes to cheat on her test.
Like that was
Yeah.
insane. She's like, "Hey, cutie. Also, what's the question at number 3? Or the answer to number
yeah,
3?"
she's
Yeah.
like, you look great. What's the answer to number 3?
And I was like, "Oh, you're a terrible person, child."
And that and again, that whole idea that like when you're on the outside of something like that
Yeah.
looking in, it's so easy to tell. But like when you're in it and like your heart is involved,
Yeah.
like you'll take anything as a sign.
You're
my
real
God.
excited about it too.
Especially because this beautiful redhead is passing notes and like her the hair's all fly. Oh, it's amazing, and I just feel bad for him. And I loved it also if it brought you back, Emma. You know those gel pink pens.
Oh my god.
Seeing that note, I was like, oh my god.
Yes. I had a whole collection of gel pens. I had metallic ones too.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
So that's what that note brought me
Yes.
back to. I was like, oh my god, she used a pink pen. I wonder if she used those blue. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So
I was
cute.
having a moment.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Back in the 90s, and we
Oh,
all
man.
used our gel pens and not so secretly passed notes to our
This
friends.
was way before cell phones, mind you.
It was.
Yeah.
I legitimately, one of my best friends in like 4th grade, our desks there was like a gap between them. Like we had our desks like in clusters, and we
Yeah.
were not in the same cluster of desks, but our desks were like
Close enough.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
So and our teacher 100% knew we were doing this, by the way. So we would like write notes in our gel pens, and we'd like fold them up, and we'd like drop them on the floor, and you'd like
Kick them over.
slide. No, I would slide
Dang.
my foot. Oh my
the
god,
way
it was so
over.
not subtle. It was not subtle at all.
That's beautiful.
Styling.
See, I was one of those people that would write the note, but it would be those rainbow ones that were already a rainbow swirl in the gel pen because I thought they were so cool.
Yeah, those
and
ones
then
were awesome.
You'd be like, "Hey, pass this to Bridget." And like, you'd be like, "Pass to Bridget." And you'd see the line, and the teacher's like, "Pass that back up here," and I'm like, "Damn it."
And the special like black paper that you could write on that made it all
Yeah.
so
Yes.
fancy.
Oh my god. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's taking me back.
Oh my god, I
But
want to buy gel pens.
Yeah.
getting back to the episode.
Sorry,
Bob's
Speaking
Burgers.
of teachers,
Sponsored by Gel Pens.
No,
right?
seriously.
Miss Selbo, the
What's going
teacher.
on?
Oh my god, that
Yeah.
Linda's storyline was incredible in this. Basically, this teacher from Wagstaff School shows up at Bob's during the lunch rush, and she's like, and Linda's like, "Hey, Miss Elbow, like, what are you doing here on a school day?" And then she like proceeds to tell her about this awful breakup that she's had. My favorite thing was when she said, "Oh, he's across the street at Jimmy Pesto's," and Linda's like, "Oh, there's nothing good about that place,
No.
except their jalapeno poppers and their what was
Okay,
it,
that's one good thing.
Pestoritas or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
I was like, what?
Pesta coladas.
Pesto coladas. That was it.
I was
that
like,
was
what
it.
is that made of? No, never mind.
Nah, I don't think about it too
It's
hard.
probably just a pina colada, but a pesto colada.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
I hope that. And it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with actual pesto in the
it's so-
colada.
I was
gross.
actually a little concerned that it was a pina colada that was made with pesto, which sounds rancid.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't sound
I was
not
like-
good.
no.
Yes. So anyway, so Bob leaves her because he's gonna go to a dance class.
Oh my god.
To impress her for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I love how willing she is to let him go do that. By the way, when and as soon as he insinuates, "If for your Valentine's
I
Day," he goes,
know.
"Oh, so sweet."
Yeah.
Go Get out of here.
It was
Like,
so great.
Immediately.
So Linda's handling the lunch rush on her own, and she ends up, having this conversation with this teacher. Comes to find out that her boyfriend didn't like just break up with her. He broke up with her a year ago.
Yeah. I was like, sweet summer child, what's happening?
Yeah.
She like stole his dog. And, like,
I was like,
peed on his mail, I think she said.
Yeah.
And then watched him
slept
open
out,
it.
like slept in the bushes outside of his house.
Yeah,
So-
it was getting
But she's
weird.
not that person.
Right.
He's making her that person.
Right.
Right.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was great.
Yeah. And I loved that like she at first you like felt bad for her, and then she was so crazy, and then Linda went to go like get her boyfriend from Jimmy Pesto's to be like, we're gonna get this sorted out, and she comes back and she's like making out with a random other dude
Just
at
a
the counter.
random dude.
Yeah, that was like, this woman is nuts, and you need to get her out of the place.
Jim.
Yep, clearly.
It was just a mess.
Clearly
I
know
love it
each
because the
other.
guy didn't even care. He was just
Yeah,
like,
he was like, all right,
hey.
this is what we're doing today.
I don't mind.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked it. I
I
like
gotta go
that
back
like
to work in 5 minutes.
I know, right?
yeah. I like that for the most part, sort of like all the events of the day just kind of progressed as if it were a regular day
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, obviously, like there were love stories going on throughout it, but like it wasn't an episode that was about like the stress of Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Right.
It was more like, here are some cute little love tales happening on
Yeah,
Valentine's Day.
everything moved really,
Yeah.
really succinctly, like
Yeah.
all together.
Like the storyline with Jean and the substitute cafeteria lady, Isabella.
Oh
Isabella?
my god, it was so
I
cute. And also
loved
like,
that.
oh wow, that's weird.
It was like chocolat, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of the entire time.
That's what they were doing, I thought.
Yeah, that's totally what they were doing.
It was great. I love that he bit into the chocolate and he like saw a life with this woman.
I know.
It was so beautiful. It was like the Ratatouille moment.
It was
Yeah.
great.
I was just like, right? Like that moment when you know.
And I love that Jean fell in love with her because like she was yelling at him in Italian and
Yeah.
he didn't know what was happening.
And he was just like,
Curse your
huh.
sensual Italian charms. or
And
whatever
I
he
love how
says.
he was just like, as she was like yelling at him, he was just like, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, you're yelling at me. I'm gonna leave now. Just like ran out of the
Didn't
kitchen.
get it for a
No.
solid minute.
But then
All
like he
good.
stays and helps her make the chocolates
Yeah.
for her boyfriend. I know. I love when she was like
Francesco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that she was like, oh no, these are for mi amor Francesco, and he's like, oh, your boyfriend. What grade is he in? He sounds ugly.
Yes. Love
Jean was
that.
on point the entire thing. Like when he was
Yes.
talking to Linda about like the kisses,
I
and then she like
know.
shortened him on that. He's like, "Don't keep
Don't
away from."
short me, woman.
Yeah, it was just adorable.
Yeah.
Too good.
Let's talk a little more about Bob.
Oh, I was so happy for him.
This was such an adorable storyline for
This
Bob.
worked out really well.
It did.
Yes, it
This is
did.
like in like okay, so in traditional comedies of this kind, like
Yes.
Family Guy, Simpsons, all
Yeah.
of the rest, where like the dad is the like traditional loser.
Yeah.
Like I expected Bob to fail. Like
No,
and he
I
didn't,
know.
and it was so great.
But that is
and that was
honestly-
so wonderful.
That's what's so great about the show is it continues to surprise you
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
Of like it kind of defies what you expect it's gonna be. It's like
Right.
you have like I mean it boils down to like the simple formula of you have Tina, who's this incredibly awkward teenage girl, and she's not the butt of the joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's like the
always-
hero of the family.
Every time too. It's amazing.
You're so right.
Yeah, and yeah, so I totally agree with you. Like this storyline for Bob ended up being so
Triumphant.
yeah, it was. It was a huge triumph.
And they did the same thing in an episode, like maybe one of the last few with the banjo.
yeah.
Do you remember that? Where they gave him the
Yes.
banjo moment at the end, and you're just like, yeah, you did it,
It was
Bob.
that same
You
one. It
did
was
it.
it was the
The
Tina
same beach
robot
one.
Yeah,
one.
yeah, exactly. So I just love it. I don't know if they're watching, but the makers of Bob's, like whenever you let your character succeed in these ways, we get
So-
real happy
and I
about
think
it.
that's why Bob's Burgers just does better. Like it draws my attention more than like The Simpsons and Family Guy at this
Yeah.
point in time, because the fact that one, like you said, the realism in the situations, even though there are shenanigans, but it's
Right.
enough for you to be like, oh, I've kind of been there before.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that even though our underdogs of the show, they always win at least once.
Yeah.
So I really love the fact that Linda was all about this
Yeah.
hip hop situation that
I
were happening.
know.
Very
well, because they
charmed
didn't
by it.
plan to go to hip hop. Like they were,
Yeah.
they were like going to the dance studio where
They're gonna
Teddy
do
takes
ballroom
Zumba
dancing.
to do.
I could
ballroom
totally see.
dancing.
The
I
ballroom
could
dancing
totally
teacher
see
died.
Teddy doing Zumba, just doing.
That was so hilarious when they showed up and they're like, yeah, ballroom dancing's canceled.
She just waltzed out.
She just waltzed out. Just kidding. She died.
I was like, what? I love how we just glossed over that. I'm like, okay.
I think they just waltzed out is maybe the stock joke that the person behind the counter is supposed to say if someone's not there. So they were being like, oh look, she just waltzed out. No, just she's
Nah, she
dead.
actually did.
I'm supposed to say that legally or whatever. Like,
Oh god.
Yeah. So then they end up going to that hip hop class.
yes.
Oh Lord have mercy.
Gosh, with
A
this.
bunch of white people hip hop.
Yeah.
So mind you, as a person who like my friend was like, hey, you should go to this hip hop class at the YMCA. It's awesome. I was like, sure. I went and I was definitely the only person of color in this class and I was like, this is awkward. But it was also still fun. So I'm glad that they had fun, but it was just very interesting with this teacher who's obviously wearing a 90s tracksuit that was way too big for her.
Yep.
Was like, and I love how she couldn't keep her hands together. She had to have it in some sort of.
Yeah.
I know when she
Some
walked in at
pose.
first,
Yeah.
I was like, when she was like, see how like I'm dragging one of my legs, one of my arms is lower
Did you
than
think
the
she
other.
was
I thought
actually
she was
injured?
I did.
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought that
I was like, oh no.
I was like, she's like, I have a bad foot or something. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, awkward.
Yeah, having a club foot does not stop you from doing hip hop or
because
whatever.
that's hip hop.
Yeah.
But no,
Which
that was
also
just
would
the
have been
way
a great
she-
message, but
yeah.
that's just
Yeah,
That's fine.
just a different direction.
and her son.
Oh my
gosh.
god. With his
take Bob to a dance off.
Her like little Jamie
Wait,
Kennedy
I'm sorry.
style.
I'm sorry. What was his name? Oh, Flip Swipe Fudge.
I love
Flip
that that's his
swipe
name.
No, sir.
And I love that he was like, I'm gonna do a Janet Jackson and did the chair thing and just fell
And
flat on
just
his
fell.
face.
I
And
love
he's
that he
like, "I've
challenged
been
him and
defeated."
immediately lost. Yes, he lost immediately.
And I love he's like, oh no, my lips caught in my braces, which as a person who's had braces for 5 years,
That sounds-
been there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's painful. But I
Not
love he was like,
preferable.
yeah, thanks guys, and he's like, what am I doing here? This is a
know.
mistake.
I know. Well, and then like the thing is about like Bob doing this hip hop dancing, he's not good.
No, and
But-
neither was Teddy.
No, but they make such a beautiful effort. And at the end when he shows up and so first of all, like at the end there's this great, like legit end of Love Actually like sequence. It's like it sounds like the music that plays when Colin Firth
Yes.
goes to propose to the girl at the restaurant.
Yeah.
So like it's this whole montage of like Tina comes in on the
Oh, the
With the
stilts.
stilts.
which
Loved it.
which the anti-drug group left behind. They were called Thrills Not Pills.
Which she also gets because that one teacher, the secretary, is
yes,
stealing
I'm
things.
totally drawing a
throughout
blank
the
on her
episode.
name.
Yeah, I forgot her
don't
name, but she
remember
stole
that
either.
toilet
So funny.
Stealing
paper,
everything.
coffee
She stole
filter,
a
and a
credit
car
card.
key. Oh yeah, she totally
I'm
stole
just taking
everything.
this home to fix it.
I just love that was her reasoning.
Yeah.
That was great.
And
It's like, okay.
but yeah, so like Tina, that's her solution because she's like she can't jump on the trampoline because
Well,
she has
she shouldn't.
diarrhea.
Yeah, no, she should
From
not.
a chili eating contest.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, sweetie, no, that's
No.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw, that gave me such like, oh God, I don't want this episode to be that.
Yeah, but
Please don't
it
let this
wasn't
happen.
that.
Yes,
Yeah.
it
But
wasn't.
she figures out a solution to make the sky kiss work by getting these stilts. Which I loved when they first brought up Thrills Not Pills, who left behind the trampoline. That Zeke was like, "Yeah, man, they messed me up. Looking at those statistics."
I know, and I was like, who thinks about that?
I know. But
Zeke.
but that's the thing is that like Zeke, is kind of that. Again, when we've talked about it many times on the show, that like he is initially presented as that kind of like stereotypical like
Yeah.
bully, a little bit redneck like kid.
But no, he's
but
very
he's actually
sweet.
like very sweet and smart,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Just really weird
Just
and eccentric,
very eccentric.
and will totally poop all over a school.
I know.
Yeah,
like
I know.
just to make
just to
Tina happy or
Yeah.
give her a story.
first
I think.
time was an accident. Second, anyway.
yeah, that's a great
Go
episode.
watch that episode, guys.
Go, Netflix.com/Bob's
Bob's
Burgers.
Burgers.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Pretty sure that'll get you there.
It is. The Mad Pooper is definitely there.
It's
Sweet.
such a good episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tina figures out her solution, and Louise goes to meet regular size Rudy on the playground after school
that scene.
to tell him that Chloe's not coming.
It's a great scene.
And he's like, I guess I'm not gonna get my first
I
gift.
know.
Then smacks.
Gamooch.
But I loved too that she was like, I mean, she's not coming, so she doesn't like you, but like, who cares? And he's like, well,
I care.
I
guess I
care.
care.
And that was when my heart
Yeah.
broke into a million
Yes,
tiny
me
pieces.
too.
I was like, Stop it. Help him.
He's the sweetest little egg.
And Isabella and Francesco kiss in the car when she brings him the
so
chocolate.
cute.
Only time we see him.
I know.
We got Mermaid on the tricycle.
Oh, I know. That was
I
so
look. I was so
Or a
happy with that.
unicycle?
I wrote down, Wheels. We don't have a name for that guy, but Wheels.
Roller skate guy?
Yeah, roller
That
skate
was
speedo.
and I thought it was a really nice way to frame the episode because it like opened with him skating and you're like, okay, but then it just ended up being like another little
just
tale.
another cute little love story.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what
wouldn't
this,
it be
you know what
cute
this episode
if
is,
roller
guys?
skate- It's
This
Love Actually.
this episode is Love Actually.
Yeah.
This episode is what the movie Valentine's Day wanted to be.
There you go. I'm fine with that. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
I was even gonna say this is what Love Actually wants to be. They wish
so
they were
good.
this.
But I agree. I think this episode, hands down, at least for this season, has been my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
has
been a really
and
good
this has
one.
been a great season overall. And
No,
again,
I
like I
agree.
love that they're really carrying through that sort of character growth from the point of view. You know,
Yeah.
we're seeing Louise be a lot more like caring and soft, like
Yeah.
showing that side of herself a little more, and like Tina has become incredibly confident and
Well, she's got
We
Jimmy
got her-
Jr. now.
Yeah, the
and-
relationship is going
and her
places.
relationship is going places with Jimmy Jr. and I kind of love that.
I'm okay with this. I really hope it doesn't like nosedive,
Yeah.
you know, knock on all of the wood here. But
Yeah.
like it's just so nice to see Jimmy Jr. excited. Like as soon as you saw his face
I
light up when
know.
she walked in there, he's
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, Tina, what's
know.
happening? It's gonna happen." And I'm like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And Linda's reaction to Bob's hip hop dance.
It's like, this is weird, but I like it.
Yeah. You got all excited.
Oh, it was just such a.
It was really thoughtful and
Yes.
cute. You know what I mean?
It was very sweet.
I don't think I've cried that much in a Bob's Burgers episode. It was just so good.
Yeah, across the board, was just a killer episode.
Super duper
in
solid.
every way. And the great news is it looks like we're actually getting another episode next week.
Shut up! Are you
Yeah.
serious?
So yeah, guys,
Yay!
Sweet.
that's gonna conclude our episode for this week.
Oh my
but
Yeah.
we're gonna be back next week.
I can't wait.
Yeah, 8:30 p.m. right here at
Sweet.
AFTERBUZZ TV.
Come back to us.
check it out. In the meantime, Alexis, where can people find you?
You can find me all over social media at atorres890. That's ATORRES 890.
Nice.
Andrew Mena.
You can get at me at Andrew Mena, ANDREWMENA. Get on. Just do it. It's Twitter.
No, you should do it.
Yeah,
Go.
I realized we didn't introduce ourselves at the top of the episode.
We didn't. But
That's
this
okay.
is who
They
we
know
are.
us. You can find us.
You know
And where
we
can
are.
they find you?
At my name, Emma Fyffe. That's my name. It's my Twitter handle. It's my Instagram, whatever it's
Yeah.
called on Instagram.
Yeah.
Scramble.
Yeah, so you should find me there. I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I tweet about most of the stuff that I'm doing. If you guys like Star Wars, you should, or tabletop RPGs, you should totally watch Pencils and Parsecs
Do it.
at 9:00 p.m. on Friday nights on Hyper RPG. That's twitch.tv/HyperRPG. 9 p.m. on Friday nights. We stream live a Star Wars tabletop RPG. It is an adaptation of Edge of the Empire, which is a system for fantasy flights. It is so much fun. Last week was crazy, and I'm going to be getting some serious backstory this coming week.
Oh, snap.
Whether my character wants it or not.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's going to be a time.
That sounds dope.
Again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, we're going to see you next week.
It's true.
Bye, y'all.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Sky Kiss!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.